Well, welcome everyone. I'm so delighted to see you all here tonight. And I could show you a 45-minute PowerPoint presentation, or I could click Zoom. I could click play and I could show you a very interesting presentation. And you know what? This is what I do just to give me practice, to make sure that I am skilled at pulling up my PowerPoint at the last second. So here I go. Because I'm getting pretty good at that last minute shuffle. So let me go ahead and now I'll share my screen with you. And we will get started. We might want to take note of these two different websites, realredoxresults.com and realredoxresults.biz. The password for each one is Redox. On realredoxresults.com, it shows you more testimonials about people's experiences with the product. That's where we're going to go today. So type in the password and you'll notice over here on the left, there's lots of different issues that you might be interested in. Or you might be interested in them for yourself, or it might be you interested in them for someone you care about. But we're going to click on this overview, and I love the way that Ellen Noble shares the basics with all of us. Here we go.
Hello, my name is Alan Noble and welcome to realredoxresults.com. On this website, you have access to lots of videos of real people sharing real results that they've experienced using ASEA's advanced redox signaling technology. You can simply browse through the videos or pick a particular subject that is important to you. However, if this is your first introduction to ASEA, then allow me to give you a brief overview so you can better understand why people are experiencing such amazing results. ASEA Redox represents a cutting-edge health and anti-aging technology, a new category in science that for 2 decades science had declared was impossible. A technology that many experts are calling the single greatest health science breakthrough of our lifetime. A great place to start is to get clear on what ASEA Redox is not. It is not a vitamin, a mineral, antioxidant, exotic juice, essential oil, or CBD oil. In fact, this technology goes beyond nutrition and ingredients, and yet can impact your health at a depth that no other supplement has ever come close to achieving. For many people, ASEA Redox is the missing link to better health and vitality. To grasp this breakthrough, you must understand that your body is the most complex communication network on Earth. Every second of every day, your cells pass tremendous amounts of important information throughout the body. Any breakdown in this communication, in this signaling, and you cannot achieve your full health potential. A simple example, your home goes on fire and you call the fire department. They have the fire truck, firefighters, fire hose, everything they need to put out the fire. However, if you don't have a good cell signal, they don't get the message and your home goes up in flames. Well, it's the same in your body. If your cells can't signal, then little else matters. ASEA Redox is the world's first redox signaling supplement that harnesses the power of the same redox signaling molecules that your body uses for this critical signaling process. This astonishing technology with 2 delivery systems, the ASEA Redox drink and the topical gel, Renew 28, has been validated by third-party independent science, and thanks to multiple patents, there is nothing else like it in the world. In a recent independent 8-week study with Torre Laboratories, a leading genetic research lab, it was found that drinking ASEA Redox could increase important gene signaling pathways by up to 31%, impacting 5 major areas of health: immune function, inflammatory response, cardiovascular and digestive health, as well as hormone balance. So at this point, let's take a listen to what health and medical professionals are saying about ASEA's redox signaling technology.
Inside every cell in your body, you're constantly producing negative and positive molecules called oxidants and reductants. And the contraction of that name is redox.
So with these molecules, we're amping up that communication. We're helping that cell signal.
Without these cell signaling molecules, we simply wouldn't do the gene replication that we need, the DNA sequencing that we need. These redox signaling molecules interact throughout the body with every cell that we know.
Every cell in our body needs these molecules for communication purposes. The more balanced they are, the more abundant they are, the healthier we are.
ASEA actually has the combination of the oxidants and the reductants that the body makes. So all we're doing with ASEA is enhancing what the body is already doing.
Having a product, a technology that's native to the body doesn't have to worry about detoxifying it because it knows exactly what to do with redox molecules. It's one of, if not the safest recommendation I ever make to a patient.
They found a way to stabilize them outside the body. And you can actually put them back into bodies that are deficient in those molecules. That's a game changer.
To have something that at its molecular level is native to the body is nothing short of a breakthrough.
This is something that's foundational for health, for every cell. It affects every cell in our body. And not just the cells, but the very DNA within those cells. You know, we talk about the discovery of DNA as being a huge breakthrough, the discovery of penicillin. Yes, these were absolutely huge discoveries, but now we have something that actually goes even deeper.
Redox signaling molecules are like the DNA whisperer. They signal cells to be healthy. And because of age, because of medications, because of toxicity in the environment, you lose your ability to make the redox signaling molecules. So having them with ASEA simply replenishes what your body is doing natively when you were young. You know, I've been in the business for 40 years, and this is the first time that I've ever heard about the redox signaling molecules, which to me is a breakthrough of the 21st century, akin to the electric light bulb in the 20th century and maybe even the discovery of penicillin. Because your body is a redox signaling program, and to be able to replenish it on a day-to-day basis, internally and externally, is not just a breakthrough, it's a game changer.
So as you can hear, ASEA Redox truly is being hailed as the most significant health science breakthrough of our lifetime. And it's not just health. Casual athletes all the way to Olympic athletes are experiencing improvements in endurance, strength and recovery, beating personal bests and breaking documented world records. In a recent university study, mice drinking ASEA for only 7 days ran 29% further to exhaustion due to significant metabolic shifts as their body started to burn more fat as fuel. And I'm sure you've heard it said that seeing is believing. Well, this same technology, when applied to the skin, results in a healthy, clear complexion, tighter, younger-looking skin, while dramatically reducing wrinkles, stretch marks, cellulite, and many other signs of aging, all while using the body's natural renewal processes. I want to thank you for taking some time and watching this brief overview. I would now encourage you to explore some of the other videos featuring people that I've had the pleasure of interviewing over the last year or so. Real people sharing real redox results. This is Alan Noble thanking you for your time today, and bye for now.
Oh. Seeing is believing. Oops, you need to unmute Ruth. There you go.
So seeing is believing. And So let's look at some of these pictures. The picture on the left shows a woman who used Renew 28 on her face, and she eliminated the bags under her eyes and the lines around her lips. And in the middle picture, cracked heels, they're so painful. And in just 48 hours of applying Renew 28, the crack was gone. And in a week, his skin looked even better. And on the top picture, this woman used Renew 28 on her neck. And you can definitely see the reduced wrinkles and the tighter looking and younger looking skin on the right. And on the bottom, the man on the bottom, he's a research veterinarian, and he decided to do an experiment on his face. And so he only put Renew 28 on half of his face. And you can definitely tell that the side on his left side is much more tighter, and his right side has the line between his nose and his mouth, and it looks saggy and baggy. And so that you can really see the impact Renew 28 has on the skin.
Now I'd like to introduce you to our friend and colleague, Barbara Stoltz, who has a testimonial she submitted to us.
Back in 2019, I had a cellular health issue on my left cheek. The doctors decided I needed Mohs surgery, and the surgeon came in and he cut a perimeter hole larger than a silver dollar, and he went 3 layers deep, sutured me up, and I looked like the bride of Frankenstein for about 4 months. And the best part of all this, though, was I only had 1 day of pain. Yes, you heard me right, only 1 day of pain. And now, people barely notice my scar unless I point it out to them. And back in September of 2019, a few months later, I went to my 40th high school reunion, and I felt like the prettiest girl there. And you do the math. Yes, I said 40th high school reunion. I'm 60 years old now, and most people think I'm in my late 40s. These products help with anti-aging, cellular health, athletic performance, and healing. Thanks.
Here we have some pictures that she shared with us as well, and you can tell she went through quite an extensive experience with her surgery, and with no cosmetic surgery afterward. She also shared a picture just from November of 21, and as you saw her, that was just this year. She is the prettiest girl in the room.
And this is one of my favorite testimonies, Rosie. She started using Renew 28 and drinking Redox daily at age 84. And in 7 weeks, after 7 weeks, she told her son that she didn't think that it was doing anything for her. And so luckily he did take a picture of her, and you can definitely see that the Renew 28 has been working, and her face looks much younger 7 weeks later. And at age 86 and age 87, and then at age 91, you can just tell she's looking younger and younger. And it just shows how this product can reverse aging and help with not only what's happening on the outside of your body, but also on the inside.
I'm sorry, what did I just do? That is not what I meant to do. So this is just proof that you can have things happen that you don't expect. I don't even know where it went, so I'm opening it up again just really quickly. This is to prove that anybody can do this. You don't have to be an expert at all. And it helps if you can keep track of where your zoom went. So here we go. We're just about there. Hang on with me. And here we go.
As our guest speaker tonight, we are so privileged to have Jerry White. He is a research physical therapist. worked at the Shriners Hospital. In fact, he started the Gait Lab there, working with those beautiful children. He's an adjunct professor in biomechanics and physiology, swim and triathlon coach. He's on the medical board, ASEA Ambassador Diamond, and ASEA Millionaire Club. Most of all, he is a dad, a grandpa, a mentor, and a coach. One of the top leaders in ASEA because he has such a big heart and he is so wise. So I'm going to turn a few minutes over to Jerry. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'll tell you what, it's time to get friendly. One of the things that I found when I was working in the sciences, that this was the most remarkable thing I'd ever seen. It came into our lives at a time when we were readjusting. And so our kids were going off to college. The last one was going on his way. And I was looking for a new adventure. The company I was working with before started getting a flat tire, and then a second one, and then a third one. And it was making years and years of trying to keep that thing going. So we were a little bit behind, working like crazy, but the current was faster than we could swim. Then I had another interesting thing that I had to cross, was that my wife had been working with the kids and going this way, had 3 jobs trying to keep everything going, and I was going this way. So for years, those didn't intersect very often. Both of us working like crazy, but not really putting together the life we wanted. So it was time to sit down and take a look at where we were going to go. It just so happened that this came into our lives in a very interesting way. Someone that I had known and worked with in my other company for quite a while, in fact, one of them that I taught, she called up and said, she and a friend, both of them housewives, one of them never had a job in her whole life, but both of them were very skilled at putting together people. They got invited to a brand new company down in Salt Lake City, and they came out in wonder and awe and said, Jerry, can you go down and listen to what these guys are talking about? Because it sounds like the biggest thing in the world, but we wouldn't know how to measure that. It was kind of too scientific. When I got there, I was astounded. I was astounded that it started answering questions that I was asking in medical physiology classes, just kind of in wonder. And the students would, I think they got a sense that as much as we know, there's just so much we don't know until now. This new technology filled in some amazing gaps, and that's all cool. But when it really hits you is when family and friends have a need. In our case, it was my daughter. I was using it athletically, which is one of those areas that I am coaching and doing all those sorts of things. We've been competing in triathlons for years. So I like to hit the optimum. I was working with kids at the Shriners Hospital that were the most challenged physiologies on the planet of the earth. I mean, I'll tell you what, these kids just got the short straw. And so working with that and trying to say, how is it that they can thrive like they do? How is it that they can overcome like they do? But I was also working with one of the fittest athletes in the world, kind of both ends of the spectrum. And so I was always fascinated with how the basic motors ran, how the body took care of itself, how it adapted to a changing world. And I could not figure out how all the pieces fit together. We just said, because God said so. But in science, if we look at what creation is and how it works and make some hypotheses and ideas, that's really what science is supposed to be, is to test it and see if we're on the right track so we can learn and help people out. This was answering questions up and down the list like I couldn't believe. I'm sitting in this meeting and talking with a nuclear medical physicist and a guy who was one of the biggest people in business in America, talking about this this concept, and it had been around for a while, but nobody'd heard about it. And they were trying to introduce it through real people because it had a heart and it made a big difference. Once we did that, my daughter was getting ready to go off to college, and she was so sick she couldn't get her head off the couch. We were really concerned. We had only a couple days before we were leaving, and we had to drive from Spokane to Phoenix and stopping in the high Sierras at a family reunion. She wasn't going to get out of that couch. It was obvious to both of us that she wasn't going to start school that semester. So Marcia turned to me and said, "That stuff you got in the closet you thought I didn't know about from this lady, go get some. Let's try this out." Within 24 hours, my daughter had started drinking it, and she got up off the couch and walked to the mailbox. It was so exciting. We had family members on both sides of the sidewalk yelling and bringing her home as if it was the end of her first marathon. But by the next day, she was 90% back. It was like a miracle. We lit the thing up, the Sierras for the family reunion, and she thought, "I'm good to go." So she went off of it for a day. And we had to carry her into the cabin, put her back on again, and bang, she just came right back. So it was enough to be able to test and to retest it. And my wife turned to me and said, "Would you stop dragging your feet? We need to get this in all of the family members." And I kind of knew where we needed to go as well. We needed to start spreading this all over the world. So I had this desire to make a bigger difference with just my patients. And with that, we only take just a few moments to give you a hint going in as to what this is. Alan Noble just talked about that discovery and how it's morphed and how the medical people, here's one of the interesting parts. All but one of those doctors was on that were people that I introduced someplace in the country. And it began to grow. And what we're doing now is we're saying, let's take it to different aspects. And so this is one of my favorite groups right here, started by Marian years ago, but growing people. And to me, that's the best thing we do, to wake up every morning and to say, let's be better. And there's so many different aspects we work together to be better. Why do we do that? To get ourselves out of the way so we can turn around and serve other people. And we're trying to prove that we can actually make a living doing this. So here's the options that people can have at the end of a presentation like this. One of them, we want you to search your heart and say, this is really fascinating. I want to get some and try it. And there's different packs that you can do to just get a hold of it. There's even things we can do to show you very quick turnaround with your friends and people that you know, like in a matter of minutes. Then we want to get onto where we don't just go from sickness to lack of symptoms. We want to go past that. In all of our lives, wouldn't it be great if we could have three things really well? One would be health, because without your health, you have nothing. Number two would be the time and the fitness to enjoy that health. So most often, people don't have the time, or they don't have the finances, or they don't have the health. Sometimes they don't have two at once, and sometimes three. So we've developed a way where we could gather together. The second option we provide for people is, yeah, you want to get some, but you can see a long-term need for this. It's kind of like exercise. We're hooked on exercise. And my wife is really hooked on exercise. And what we found is that the more you exercise, the more you can. And for people who use it over time, it actually reverses a lot of these aging processes. That's number one. Number two would be, you want to take care of not just, like I said, not just getting lack of symptoms, but going way beyond. Number two would be care for someone you love and care about. One of the more interesting pieces is this technology on every cell in the body works on every cell in an animal's body as well. And with a growing dependence on people needing that connection with their animals and the love that they have and the care that they take for them. Many people see that's the number one reason that they get involved with this kind of thing. The third one would be a person who says, you know, I'd like to do all that, but I'd love to learn all these aspects you're talking about, building a team of people to get something done that we could never do by ourselves, something much bigger, more grand, perhaps learn how to do things like make a profit on doing some things on the side. And in starting up something like this, it only costs $40 to do that, but you also get a whole lot of benefits where you can use the technology less expensively and you can get it out to other people. And as you get it out to other people, there's a return on that, a return in finances, but there's also a return in goosebumps. I know a lot of people that love being paid in goosebumps, giggles and goosebumps. Then there's another set that said, you know, I really like it for the athletics. Another one will say, I just, you know, that anti-aging stuff is really intriguing. If I'm going to be stuck on this planet, I'm going to do it full out. I want to be the best I can be. Let's crank it. And then there's finally this group that says, let's gather and not just make a small dent in the world. So we allow people to buy international distribution rights for that $40 and to develop other people and to get through yourself and beyond yourself so that we can help bring other people up and bring them home. In fact, oftentimes we think about, let's bring 100 or 1,000 families home and see what happens when we do that. And they can then have the time to go out and be amazing citizens, parents, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers. So those are the options. And as we close out this little section, I want to tell you that this is a dynamic, vibrant group of people that are saying each one of them matters. And together, we have a much richer life than we do separately. So thanks for having me. I just wanted to give you those options, and I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you, Jerry. Love having you here with us, giving us more information. I want to also acknowledge that anyone that's interested in signing on and starting the products, that there's 100% money back guarantee within the first 30 days. So you want to get back to the person that invited you here. And I want to extend an invitation to join us on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, where we're going to have another guest speaker. It will be Jim Glenn. So we'd love to have you join us with the same sign-in Zoom and password. Thank you. Oh, you wanted to say something, Marian? You're on mute.
Wednesday, is it Bill Perry? I don't think it is Jim Glenn.
Well, that's what I'd gotten from you in your text. So I've got the dates maybe mixed up. We're going to have one of them this Wednesday, and we're going to have the other one the next Wednesday. Guess stay tuned and we'll get this sorted.
Bill Perry, we are excited. He's going to be talking to us about some amazing things that happened with his grandchild. So please come and visit us.
One other thing that you're going to be very interested about Bill's story is an impossible situation with his wife's vision that can't have happened. So that just is sort of a teaser.
Okay.
And in the other one that he does, I mean, he's there for some reason around him. There are 3 different aspects to vision. And one of them, just I'll tell you, just a teaser story here. He had a baby wiener dog, a Dachshund. And they're pretty fun. Those little cute little wiener dogs. Well, that dog got a little curious and got stung in the eye by a yellow jacket. And the eye became so inflamed and swollen that it literally wouldn't fit in the socket anymore. So they were on their way to the veterinarian and took this material, ASEA Redox material, in a little spray bottle and started spraying it on the dog's eye on the way to the veterinarian, about a 25-minute trip. By the time they got to the veterinarian, the eye was back to normal size and the dog wasn't whining anymore. So he has two other stories that you'll want to hear that are just as amazing as that. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Now, since most of the people here